Welcome back, Guardians. My name is Trams87, and in today's lore video, it appears we're saying goodbye. To whom, you might ask? Well, some very notable characters in the Destiny story. It's known that since the beginning of the Season of Arrivals, Zavala has called for our aid in helping him to both bolster and evacuate the planets of all our beloved humans and Guardians alike. However, in this week's Means to an End, it would seem that things are beginning to take a turn for the worst. Our journey starts with a visit to IO to see Asher Muir, to help him do more work, of course. Yes, and again, as his incompetent assistant. Have a listen to this lore entry from the book Duress Egress, titled Asher Conclusion, and it reads: As Asher Muir watched his assistant's ship tear into orbit for the last time, it occurred to him that he had not expressed how truly satisfactory he had found some of their work. He briefly entertained the thought of leaving a letter, but there were others more deserving of his thoughts, and if he worked in descending priority, he might never make it to his assistant, which would defeat the purpose of the exercise completely. Instead, he went to the Pyramidion. The Vex are not born, yet not created. Desire to understand this conundrum brought Asher to Io. He reasoned that the pyramid, with its alien resources and unknown power, had likely come for the same purpose. The dark ship sought to take the secrets of the Vex for itself. But Asher Muir had already staked his claim, and he was prepared to defend it. He soon stood at the gate of the Pyramidion. The Vex security responded, and he knew they would, and he was prepared. He piled their broken corpses on the plates and continued inside. He destroyed the first 100 Vex, then the second. A Minotaur roared into being before him, and he crushed its radiolating claw in his metal fist. He climbed forward over their crawling limbs. He slipped in the cooling roux of their dead fluid. Asher swallowed a mouthful of blood and kept moving. He paused by a whirling gate and watched the periodic waves, then stepped through at the only possible moment. He walked steadily through laser grids that seemed to bend around him. He hung calmly in the gravitational tourbillon as the ground beneath him flickered and shifted madly, and the Vex began to observe. The corridors of the Pyramidion were lined with glowing red eyes. The metal mannequins stood dumbly, twitching, shuddering as Asher passed. A familiar area unfolded before him, a cubist sinkhole reeking with the flat-based stench of slate mud and bleach. He looked where the sky should be and found another impossible shape, another fractal contradiction. From above him, placid in its Penrose vortex, a vast radiolarian lake lapped gently at the metallic shores. The man reached up to the lake with his metal arm. He then reached with his arm of flesh. He reached with both, and he brought the lake down. Honestly, Guardians, this makes me very sad. Now, it's unsure whether this goodbye is permanent or not, but we're seeing a character that we've essentially grown up with for 3 years, or almost 4 years, saying farewell. However, the story doesn't end there. After visiting Io, we now plot a course for Titan to protect Sloane and bring her back home. Have a listen to this lore entry from the lore book Duress Egress, titled Sloane, Wavebreakers. It reads: Deputy Commander Sloane was in a foul mood, and Amanda Holliday, bless her heart, had no idea. Titan's waves crashed relentlessly against the massive support struts of Siren's Watch, Were things different? A crew would be down there right now, swinging between the mammoth legs, working to repair and stabilize. But things weren't different. You can throw together a box grinder and reinforce it, no problem, Amanda said. You can. You can, I can't, said Sloane. While she had built a few walls, Amanda had an inviolable engineering background to fall back on, though it seemed she wasn't much of a teacher. Amanda's hologram splurred ramming. How long do you need it to last for? Long enough to get it out of my mind, said Sloane. Since it started wobbling, I haven't even had to worry about the pyramid. Small favors, chirped Amanda. Sloane ran a hand through her coarse hair. Come on, Amanda groaned. You're sitting on a mess of Golden Age technology on Titan. There's gotta be an engram with a bridge inside it. Sloane stared flatly. That might actually be true, but Sloane didn't have the time to hunt for lost technologies. Make a wavebreaker then. Tetrapods bolted against the strut, or better yet, something out in the sea to break the wave early. If you can't take it when it hits you, you go out and hit it before it gets started. Like this. Amanda leaned forward and did something to her ramen bowl that Sloane obviously couldn't see. You're not looking, Amanda said, and tilted her bowl forward, just enough to spill broth over her desk. She cried out with laughter. I'm hanging up now, said Sloane, and after a cheery wave at Amanda's melodramatic pout, she did. The hologram faded out, leaving Sloane in the dark. She stayed there for a long time. So it's with a heavy heart we bid adieu to our beloved Sloane, the hidden pillar of the Last City, our female shacks effectively, without the madness and the over-eagerness to engage in pointless battle to no end. Is this truly the last time we will see our quick-quip, smart-talking Titan? I guess we'll never know, but we must keep pushing forward because we can't stop here. There is more work to be done, and now we need to head to Mercury, or what's left of it that the Vex haven't completely terraformed into a machine world. We need to secure the lighthouse and make sure whatever needs to be brought back to the city is in one piece, and that needs to be done ASAP. Brother Vance is our next visit, the faithful observer, the follower of Osiris, who right now is nowhere to be found. It's believed that he's either on Europa or has crossed into a similar dimension, that of the Exo-Stranger. I'd like to share this third lore entry with you from the book Duress Egress, titled Vance, Passeri, and it reads: After the Guardian left his sanctum for the last time, Brother Vance collected his few belongings and stepped onto the scorching surface of Mercury. He found the entrance to the infinite forest easily, and though he had practiced the journey endlessly in his mind, because he had, this time he went through. The forest roared. He was struck by the dizzying void of it. The echoes made no sense. He took his first step into the hallowed place and fell to his knees, vomiting. He struggled with his pack as a tempest beat on his eardrums. He withdrew his infinite simulacrum, impossibly small in this immense space, and with trembling fingers synchronized it to the frequency of the crack in the forest. It ticked like a metronome, and then silence. The forest was sealed. Tentatively, Vance felt his way across the enormous stone he stood on. At the same time, he skipped effortlessly from the stone as if he had done so countless times before. At the same time, he soared. He was moving in every direction, falling, laughing, singing, down every path, into every reality, spreading his message of hope. And the original, the true Vance, felt his infinite parallels erupt from him. He felt them bear him up as they passed. Thank you, he said wordlessly, unable to breathe from joy, and felt 100,000 touches of reassurance. He found he was weeping. There, in the swirl of golden echoes, Brother Vance lifted his voice and began his song, Some Hope For. His voice was answered. His own voice answered him from behind. The future, it continued. Vance leapt towards it. He recognized the feel of his own cloak, and his hands found its throat. Its form twisted, turning cold and sharp beneath his hands. It threw Vance to his back, but he held on. He pushed his hands up the thing's face, under its blindfold, and dug in with his thumbs. It howled. How unfortunate, Vance thought to himself behind his wide smile, that you still have eyes. Now, Brother Vance has gone into the Infinite Forest and he's trapped in there, and it looks like he's had a struggle with, I would almost say, it sounds like a Vex version of himself or a Taken version of himself, just from the slight description that we got. But I guess we'll never really find out what happened to Vance, but Vance is gone, and we may never see him again. You might be wondering, hey Trams, you forgot one. What about Anna Bray? Well, you're right. Thankfully, Anna is safe. According to the lore entry Anna Frayed, after losing part of Rasputin, who now resides in an engram, she is safe in the city. Though we haven't seen her physically appear, that's yet to be seen, and it's only a matter of time. It's possible she may become the new Hunter Vanguard, as that position is now available. However, it's unclear. But if you'd like to get an idea of what really happened with Anna and Rasputin, you can watch my video Rasputin Is Dead. The link is above. You won't be disappointed. So here we are, on the precipice of a new dawning. What was once is now leaving, and a new horizon forms in the distance. The question is, will it be one filled with hope, or a perilous journey of despair? Remember, Guardians, that the light of hope always shines brightest in the face of darkness, whoever you are, wherever you are. So that's going to be it for this week's lore video, and I hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, please feel free to leave a like on this video, and if you'd like to see more videos like this one, please consider subscribing and also hitting the bell notification to know when I upload new lore videos. Thank you again for pushing us way past 200 subscribers. I really didn't think that that would be possible, and my head is actually still spinning from that. But remember that no matter what you're facing in life, that you're not alone and you can do all things. Stay safe and Godspeed.